All right, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Gamecock Chuck is back. We're going to do this video today, talk a little bit about commitment. As everybody knows out there in Gamecock Nation, we lost a four-star cornerback yesterday, Shamari Earls, who flipped his commitment from South Carolina to Georgia and proved that 1,000% committed really means nothing in college football, right? He said he rushed his decision because he committed back in April, I believe it was, went to the spring game. Not long after that, he committed to South Carolina. Said he rushed his commitment, didn't lay everything out on the table, and I'm not buying that. I don't understand why these young student athletes can't say, hey, I finally got offered by a really good football team in Georgia that offered me, and that's what I decided to do. Why can't you say that instead of saying something like, oh, I rushed my decision? Yeah, it might have been rushed, but at the same time, why couldn't you just say, oh, I was waiting on a better offer to come across the table? That's my thoughts on it. I mean, when you say 1,000% committed, that's one reason that recruiting frustrates me, because when they say how committed they are, you really don't know until they sign their national letter of intent in December or February, whenever they decide to sign. So you really can't buy into the hype of some of these recruits, right? I learned that a long time ago. I used to get all pumped up and excited when guys commit, and I do get a little bit excited, but that's why I haven't put out any videos this year whenever these young guys have been committing to South Carolina. Because I'm going to wait and see. I'm going to wait and see how this class turns out as far as who's going to show up, who's going to sign on the dotted line, and so forth. Right now, our recruiting class is really not looking too well. Took a big hit yesterday with the loss of Shamari Earls decommitting. Got a few 4-stars and a whole bunch of 3-stars out there that's committed to South Carolina, supposedly. That's not going to get the job done. That's not going to get the job done for Coach Beamer as far as success on the field. 3-stars. There's a couple diamonds in the rough when it comes to 3-stars. But I don't know any college football team out there that's ever won a championship loaded with 3-stars. I mean, y'all can get in the comments and let me know, where I might have missed on that. But I don't know of any championships out there won by a team loaded full of 3-star talent, right? You need your 4-stars, you need your 5-stars, sprinkle in some 3-stars to help you. But if you're constantly recruiting 3-star recruits with a couple 4-stars, then you better hire some damn good coaches, some assistant coaches to develop them 3-stars to get them to compete on the level with the teams that have all the 4-stars and 5-stars, right? And I'm just not sure that we have that on our staff right now. We got some good coaches. Don't get me wrong. We got some good coaches on the staff, but can Clayton White develop 3-star athletes into good players, 4-stars and 5-stars, what should be 4-stars and 5-stars? Can he take them 3-stars and develop them? Can Mike Fury, the new wide receiver coach, bring 3-stars in and develop them into good wide receivers? I don't know. We'll see. Time's going to tell. But it is what it is. I mean, we lost him. He flipped. It's not over. I mean, yeah, he flipped, but it's not over. He still has an opportunity to flip back to South Carolina. You never know until December. Until December comes around, when he signs his name on the NLI, the National Letter of Intent, he's still open. I mean, unless he just shuts it down and says no contact and whatever else, they can do to keep, coaches from contacting them. Unless he does something like that, he's still available for South Carolina to keep pursuing. Would I want Coach Beamer to pursue him? Honestly, no, I really wouldn't. I'm a firm believer that, you're only as good as your word, right? If you're a man and you give your word, you're only as good as your word. If you hold your word, then if you live up to your word, then you're good, right? But if you can't keep your word, then that don't mean nothing to me. So it is what it is. Like I said, we're going to move on. We're going to keep recruiting. Coach Beamer's going to keep recruiting, keep trying to bring in some good talent that's still left out there on the board. Hopefully, we don't have any other decommitments. However, I feel like there's one more out there that just got offered yesterday, about an hour after Earls decommitted from South Carolina. Mysteriously, he got offered by Georgia. So I wouldn't be surprised if we lose him as well, another 4-star defensive tackle, I believe he is. So wouldn't be surprised if we lost him as well. We will have to wait and see because they're still waiting on some big time recruits that Georgia's recruiting. They're still waiting on a commitment from them, whether or not they get them or not. And see, that's what irks me right there. You know, they sit around, and when they miss on somebody, all of a sudden they throw offers at these kids that South Carolina and other teams have got commitments from, and then next thing you know, these kids flip because, you know, it's Georgia. Georgia's a real good team, a championship caliber team in the playoffs. Kirby Smart recruits at a high level, so it is what it is. So the only concern there is, you know, this kid flipped. Who's to say he's going to get on the field at Georgia? We don't know. That was the one thing he had going for him at South Carolina. He has a better opportunity to see the field at South Carolina. I'm not saying he won't see it at Georgia, but when you get to Georgia, you got 5 stars and 5 stars ahead of you, and high 4 stars ahead of you. You may or may not see any playing time. So, like I said, we're gonna move on. We're gonna keep recruiting and see what Coach Beamer can do. Hopefully he can get back in the mix with or get in the mix with some high rated, high 4-star recruits. And solidified his class. But who knows? Who knows? He may just decide to backfill some of this stuff with transfers. Well, we don't know. That seems to be the route to go these days, but we shall see. But anyway, y'all get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on this decommitment. And I'll be keeping my eye out on the other one that I mentioned. And we shall see how that plays out. But like I said, get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Hit that like. Hit the subscribe button and share this video with everybody. And Gamecock Chuck, I'll see you guys in the next one.